It's March Madness time. Well, have some Red Bull, some coffee.
It's a perfect way to show how crazy these past couple of months have been.
They are the big contenders for the tournament. Haven't lost a game yet. I like Arizona.
Arizona's a good team, a tall team, a fast team.
Incredibly stacked conference, the SEC.
Baylor won the game, and that's a 18-year promise, like you said. And Scott Drew, that's an incredible story for him. And
I just feel there's going to be a big upset, and
so yeah, I think it's an easy pick.
Hi, this is Andrew Utz, the winner of the Outsiders Opinions inaugural Bracket Challenge, and you're listening to Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our March Madness Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin. I was the first one in, and joined by the last two in, Austin and Jake, the special guest that we chose. Thank you, Jake. It looks like you were on your own darkness retreat.
Yes, I had a very long darkness retreat with my own thoughts, and I decided I want to go to the Jets.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
That's quicker
Yeah.
than the other person that took a darkness retreat.
Is he going to go to the Jets too? Because that's going to be a very conflicting position.
Well,
That's true.
We'll have to see. We made some predictions about that, which in a video that should come out tomorrow, whenever this is posted, I believe.
Yes.
So I congratulate you, though, Jake. It was a very grueling process for Kevin and I, but we think we made the right choice, and here you get to prove us right.
Yes, and now we're going to. There's a big space in the recording of this, and that's because we are going to show the bracket. So if you just give me a second, I will show you live on hand how to enter our bracket challenge, where you can win a free liner. So here it is. Actually, I'm having a little trouble. So you go to the NCAA March Madness bracket, and you're going to click on play. And all right, here it is. So now it should be sharing on your screen. If not, it should say play. Here's our little group. And Austin and Jake, I apologize, but here it is. Here's the little play. I'm going to make sure that we're in the bracket challenge in our group. It's called Outsiders Opinions. Perfect bracket. Looks like we have 6 people. Looks like Jake, you're in. Then we have Best UC. Oh, is that not you, Jake?
I'm J-Log.
Oh,
yeah,
J-Log.
he's J-Log.
Oh, so I have no idea who Best UC is, Austin. I'm pretty sure Yo Hookem is a Texas fan. Then Austin hosts is Austin, and then Kevin. And then Jake, we have yours. So there it is. And now we're going to go click on that Outsiders Opinions bracket. Oh, shoot. Having trouble.
Make sure you go to like my picks or whatever, and then click on the bracket.
Okay, thank you. My picks. All right, now we're clicking on the bracket. 0%. Here it is. All its glory, empty. And which region do y'all want to start with?
Jake, you're our guest. You can pick.
I like going left, right, down, then back to the right.
Okay. So
let's start at the tippy top left.
All right. So let's talk about Bama. And then since we are recording before the A&M CC or Southern Eastern Missouri game, who do you think wins?
I don't think we need much deliberation here.
I don't think so either.
Bama?
Yeah.
I think so. I think Bama wins. Are we not doing the first 4?
It's not technically a part of the prediction, so no. But I do think that Texas A&M Corpus Christi wins. They're a much better team than Southeast Missouri.
Oh, we have a little disagreement here.
Oh.
Also,
Kevin,
Jake, are you saying?
SEMO?
Yeah,
no,
I
agree. I agree with Austin in this one.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Starting off hot. Now we'll go to Maryland versus West Virginia.
Jake? Expert.
Me, expert. Excuse me. Well, I picked West Virginia for this one because of the entirely senior-led starting squad. Eric Stevenson is kind of a dog. They've played very well the past couple weeks, including losing to Kansas by only 2 points, and they beat Kansas State and Iowa State. They have a slightly better defense, and they're kind of a little bit of a hot hand, but not really. But I believe in that veteran offense, or that veteran entire starting squad.
Yeah, their defense is middling at best, especially for a normal West Virginia squad. But that fourth strength of schedule in the country, I have to agree with Jake here. West Virginia, it's a 50-50 shot. Maryland is a good team, and they play in a very hard conference as well. But West Virginia is more battle-tested. They have a much older roster that I think is getting great coaching. So I think West Virginia is a play.
All right. Well, I agree. West Virginia. Now we'll go to San Diego State, and I believe
Charleston.
Charleston. Yes.
You guys are Charleston fans here, huh?
Or no, we were just saying the team.
Yeah, we were just saying the team, but I would probably have to go San Diego State. They this is tough to say, but I think they may have the best defense in the country. Again, like they've had a couple times. I mean, they're notorious for obviously having Kawhi before. Charleston's really good, but they don't really have a star player, which I do think is going to hurt them. They have great perimeter shooting. Everybody on their team in the starting lineup averages 10 points, but I think San Diego State's too good. They play in a good conference. The Mountain West has 4 teams, and including themselves, and I think they're better than Charleston. I know Charleston's 31-3, but they're not going to be able to keep up.
I agree. San Diego State's a phenomenal defense. They play with a type of ferocity and intensity that you want to see in a team in March Madness. So I believe the Aztecs will not go out in the first round like they did last year.
All right. Now we go to Virginia versus Furman.
Furman.
All right. My bad.
Furman is one of my favorite players in the country, Jalen Slauson. I think that he will be an NBA starter in the future. I know that's hard to say for someone that does not play in a Power 6 school. I know you normally see Power 5, Power 6, including the Big East here. But Slauson averaging 1.6 boards, not 1.6 boards, 7.2 boards, 1.6 blocks, and 1.6 steals. That is an extremely impressive number for a team, especially like theirs. Furman does not have a good defense. But Bothwell and him both combined shoot for 54% from the field. But I know I'm talking about all this mess about Furman. I have to go Virginia. I don't think Furman has enough defensive wherewithal to keep up with a Virginia team here.
I disagree. I like this upset here. And not only, to add on to what you said about Jalen Slauson, he also shoots 39% from 3.
He's an amazing player. Amazing.
Which is not too shabby. I like they have a very balanced team. Slauson can get the boards, while Bothwell is like the facilitator who also averages 18 points a game. Bothwell's really good, and they also have a guy averaging I think it's like 4 or 5 assists a game. I think his name is JP Pegues or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his name, but yeah.
Yeah, me neither. But I like this Furman squad, and I think they dominate their conference championship.
It was a rematch against Chattanooga, who they obviously lost to last year in a buzzer-beating shot from half court. I'm not against Furman. I'm going to stick with my pick for Virginia and let Kevin be the mediator here, but I wouldn't be mad either way. So
Furman also takes care of the ball. They don't turn the ball over as much as you might think. So I like that.
I thought I wasn't going to have to do any work except click buttons tonight. I guess I was wrong. I hope I'm not wrong about this pick, though. I'm going Virginia. I was pretty impressed with how they destroyed Clemson. And it seems like they're hot entering this tournament. So I have them. I guess I'll decide them facing San Diego State.
Yeah, they're 7-3 in their last 10. They're definitely someone who is playing well. But I'm glad you agree with me, Kevin. Again, Furman's a really good squad. I don't knock the pick, Jake, but I think Virginia's the right choice here.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to counter real quick. I don't think Virginia rebounds well enough, and I don't think they shoot the 3 well enough.
The problem with Furman, though, is their height, kind of. They don't have a player over 6'9", so I don't know if rebounds.
They're not tall, but they're ferocious, so I believe in that. I have faith. They don't score very much. Virginia does not score very much either.
Furman's not a great defensive team, though, so it's going to be
It's going to be an interesting matchup. I'm excited to see how this game plays out. It'll probably be double digits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we'll go to Creighton versus NC State.
Creighton is so underseeded here at 6 if they're going to 20 ball NC State.
Yeah, I like Creighton. Usually when I'm looking at March Madness and trying to make picks, I usually look at depth. And I saw Creighton, and I was like, oh shoot, they only have 5 guys who can really score. But then I remembered UNC last year made a championship on 5 guys, and so if you're hot and at the right moment and have the right squad, and which Creighton might have the right squad, they could go far. And so yeah, Creighton's going to pull this out.
NC State, the ACC is too weak. I don't think their matchups were all that tough. I think the Big East is a better conference. I think Creighton's a better team. So
A lot of people think NC State shouldn't have even been here.
I don't think they should have been. I would have put Oklahoma State over NC State, but that's just me.
A lot of people will put Clemson over NC State.
Oh,
I think
really?
Clemson was better as well. It's tough. I don't think NC State should be here, and Creighton's going to show them that they shouldn't have been. But we can move on to the next matchup.
Yes, Baylor versus UCSB.
I'll let the expert go first here.
Who are we kidding? I mean, Baylor has had a down year. They don't have a great defense, but they're still Baylor. They still got a great squad. It's hard for a 14 seed to be a 3 seed. I don't remember the last time that happened, but it doesn't happen often. And so I'm going Baylor. I have faith in the Bears in this one.
Cool. We're all in agreement on the past 2 picks. I'm Creighton and Baylor as well.
I have to agree with Baylor. I mean, the coaching aspect here, Scott Drew is such a great coach, and I think even though this is not one of the better Baylor teams we've seen in the past couple of years, it is still light years ahead of UCSB, who struggled in their own conference.
Yes. So now we get to a team that was talked about in our job interview, which if you have not seen that, make sure to check it out on our YouTube channel. And that's Mizzou versus Utah State. I would also say Mizzou should not be a 7 seed. I know we talked about Creighton being a 6, but Jake, I'll let you talk about this team.
All right, so I've been watching Mizzou all year since I attend the University of Missouri, and I would like to say, first off, the one thing that holds Missouri back is their rebounding. I think they're the worst rebounding team in the tournament.
Oh, it's not even close. They're light years ahead of that category of being.
They do not have size. They do not have size, but they make up for it with shooting and an incredibly underrated defense. I don't know where this narrative that Mizzou has a bad defense is coming from, but I'm hearing it thrown around by these quote experts. And after watching the past month and a half of Mizzou basketball, Mizzou's pretty ferocious on the perimeter. They were giving Brandon Miller a run for his money until they started passing the ball quickly, until Alabama started throwing the ball around all across the court. And so, yeah, I believe Mizzou's got a little fight in them. And I'm hearing a lot of stuff about Utah State, but I have faith in the Tigers. The Tigers can pull this one out.
I hate to go against your team, your school. Utah State is really good. They talk about hot. They're 7-3 in their last 10, but they're 7-1 in their last 8. They've beaten other tournament teams during that run. They beat Boise State twice. They beat Nevada, who's another team here. Yes, they lost to San Diego State twice during that run, but they lost to them by 2 points and by 5 points. And let me tell you, they have had a lot of competition. I understand Mizzou plays in the SEC, but the 13th strength of schedule, 13th in strength of schedule, Utah State. Mizzou, 41st. Utah State has played a very tough schedule, and their record is very impressive. They are underseeded as a 10 seed, 18th in NET rank. I believe in this Utah State team. They can put up numbers, and if Mizzou can't shoot the ball, which sometimes happens, Mizzou has had some streaky games, their rebounding woes will be the end of them. It will happen, and I'm going Utah State. I think their rebounding is not good enough, and this is a really tough matchup. I don't think Mizzou should be a 7 seed. They probably should be a 6 seed. And I don't think Utah State should be a 10 seed. They should probably be higher than that, an 8 maybe. But this is a tough matchup, and I think the rebounding is too much of a discrepancy.
So once again, I am asked to deliver the final decision, and it's going to be Mizzou. I think Mizzou pulls this one out. I think there are
No
very
bias
hungry
here. No
teams.
bias here.
I am not biased. I have no
No
connection.
bias.
I have no connection to the University of Missouri at all.
Of course.
So
I
now
would
we'll
like
go
to
to
add. I would like to add though that Utah State does have a not very phenomenal defense, and they don't really steal the ball much. They don't force turnovers. While Mizzou, I think, leads the tournament in forced turnovers and steals. I think this is a very underrated aspect of Missouri's game, and could possibly plague the perimeter shooting of Utah State.
But Austin, I do think you make a great point with the shooting with Mizzou, where they will.
They're a streaky team, and
Yeah.
rebounding is something that you
Yes.
need if you're a streaky team.
Yes.
Let me tell you this, or let me ask you this, Jake, to sell me on this more. Why? Give me just one reason. The difference. Give me the difference. What will be the difference in the game that will cause Mizzou to win?
Well, if we're going to compare it to the loss to Alabama, Kobe Brown's going to get more than 6 points. Kobe Brown is actually going to shoot some shots and hit his shots. Demoy Hodge is going to continue to dominate. He's shooting better than he has shot all year. He's shooting 40% from three. Kobe shoots 45% from three. Nick Honors he had a rough one against Bama, but he's hitting his shots more consistently over the course of the past couple weeks than he was at the beginning of the year. Mohamed Diarra is seeing a lot more defensive play, more play on the inside, and he is starting to become more disciplined in the interior blocking and interior defense department. And so I'm starting to see some development. And also we've been without one of our best defensive players, Trey Gomillion, and Isaiah Mosley might be back. And so we've been without two key players on the team, and if they're back for the tournament, which I expect they will, it'll be an interesting fight.
Besides rebounding, there will be one thing that happens, and it's the fact that Utah State's the fifth best shooting team in the country from three at 39.3%, and Mizzou will have to slow that down. But let's move on. We spent a lot of time on this one matchup.
Yes, we did. It's going to be a good matchup, though.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, let's be quick with Arizona versus Princeton.
There's not much to talk about.
No, there's not much to talk about.
Yeah,
Two 7-footers. I think they got it.
All right,
yeah.
and do we want to go to finish the South?
Let's just go all the way through until we pick somebody to go to the Final Four out of this, and then we'll move over.
Sounds great. All right, so let's just talk about Mizzou versus Arizona.
Mizzou can't rebound 2 7-footers.
Yep.
Arizona by 20.
All right.
Hey! Show some respect.
All right. How about you put?
You can't drive. The Mizzou doesn't have enough size. You can't guard 2 7-footers. I'm telling you right now, there's no way Mizzou wins this game if they.
I think we put up a good fight.
What's the margin?
Let me say at least double digits. Is that fair?
No. Stick with your 20, Austin.
Oh, I'll stick with my 20. I just want to make it a little bit more appeasable for Jake.
Oh,
RJ.
It's okay. I don't care if you say we'll lose by 20 because we've done it before to worse teams. Yeah, I mean Arizona has just too much firepower. They're too strong on the boards. They're exceptional on offense. They're very good. They shoot the 2 and 3 well.
Yeah.
And so they're one of the more all-around teams. They're one of the more all-around teams in the tournament. And so, as much as I love Mizzou, their run ends here.
All right.
Maybe not by 20, but likely
but,
double digits.
But by what? Come on, be a little bit more specific.
I'll say 9-12, maybe 10-14.
So
we'll go with 10. We'll just say his prediction's 10.
10.
We'll just say his prediction's 10.
Make that 12. Make that 12.
Okay. I'll go 8.
Okay.
All right. So
Sorry,
Arizona,
Tigers.
Now we go Creighton, Baylor.
I'm going Creighton. I don't think this Baylor team is played well enough to prove to me that they can beat this Creighton team. I think this Creighton team, as Jake pointed out, is very comparable to a UNC team. They have one of the best starting fives in college basketball, and I think that will carry them through at least through this matchup because I do not think Baylor has played well enough this year to prove to me that they are true competition against a great team.
I agree with Austin here. Creighton has a phenomenal squad of 5 players, and I think that Baylor has been very inconsistent on defense this year, and they're not very efficient on defense. So I think the offensive uh, prowess and the defensive prowess of Creighton will shine through here.
All right, now we're starting to pick some upsets. Yes, I agree as well, Creighton. Even though I didn't need to settle the pick. But now we'll go to San Diego State versus Virginia.
I'll let the expert.
Oh, don't make the expert. Well, like I mentioned earlier, I didn't even have Virginia making it out of the first round because I don't believe in their shooting, or their. I mean, they just don't shoot very well and they don't rebound a lot. And San Diego State is if you don't shoot well, combined with a very good defense that you're facing, I don't see a chance Virginia has here. So I got the Aztecs moving on.
I agree 100%.
All right. Once again, 3 in a row. Or 3 picks. And let's see if we can make it actually 3 in a row this time. Bama versus West Virginia.
Bama by 20.
Bama by 30.
Oh.
Not
all
really.
right.
No, 20. I was just trying to.
Yeah, he's just trying to outdo me. They're not being.
Yeah, I'm just trying to outnumber.
Let's be a little bit respectful. They're not calling them.
No, they're not going to.
By 22.
22? Okay.
Yeah. Now we're in the Sweet 16 for the South. We got Bama versus San Diego State.
Expert, please go first here because I am at a loss.
You're at a loss here. Well, here's what I say. Bama, good defense. In fact, I'll say solid defense. San Diego, great defense. San Diego State, okay offense. Alabama, one of the most elite offenses in the nation. So based on that and the fact that they have Brandon Miller and they can crash boards and they have 7-footers who can get rebounds, I believe this Alabama team will move on.
All right.
It's really I just want to make a little case. I know you said agree, but I'll make a little bit of a case for San Diego State. San Diego State, 27-6, 7th hardest strength of schedule this year. That makes it so much more impressive that their defense has been this good. And while I understand the Alabama pick, I think this is where they fall. I don't think the experience here for Alabama is helping them at all. And I know San Diego State got lost in the first round last year, but defense is easier to coach without experience, in my opinion. If you're already a great defensive team, you don't get really nervous as a team aspect. They're a team defensive team. And offense, when Brandon Miller has to step up as a freshman with everything else off the court that's been happening and so much drama surrounding this Alabama squad, I think this is where they falter. Alabama's really good. Right now, I think because of Marcus Sasser's injury, at this second, they may be the best team in the country. But I would take San Diego State. I think their defense is way too good.
You know what, Austin? After hearing that great point, I'm still picking Bama.
I don't mind it. Bama's a good pick. I'm not gonna hate on a Bama pick. I'm just saying
I think Bama
San Diego
falls
State
through.
doesn't. Yeah,
But
San Diego State doesn't have that star.
Not yet.
They have one player over double figures in scoring. I just don't think they have that firepower.
I do think Bama could fall early.
Yeah, but they also
not
have
early.
like 9 or 8 players. They're 9 or 8 players deep, and all those players score 6 or more. Like they're all a team. They're a team defense, and their ability to play with each other is impeccable. I mean, they only allow 63.6 points per game against the 7th hardest strength of schedule. That's remarkable, and
They're great.
I think it's. I mean, Alabama's a great pick. I mean, this is.
I'm still on the cusp. I mean, I'm not trying to say that it's Alabama easy win. I'm still battling with myself here, but I just I've seen Alabama play all year, and they've shown no signs of. I mean, they're inexperienced, but they've showed no signs of it. I haven't seen it. It hasn't come out at all, and so I have no reason to believe they won't win.
I'll just say this: if we're going to come, this will be a close game. If Bama wins. But this is really going to come down to Brandon Miller. If the defense can lock up Brandon Miller, San Diego State wins this game. If Brandon Miller can beat Brandon Miller and Alabama win this game. So it really comes down to that star power you were talking about. If the star power can be negated, then the underdog will win.
I agree. That's very fair. Now we go Creighton versus Arizona.
Creighton's not deep enough. They're not deep enough. The 2 7-footers, Arizona's big. Their ability to score the ball, they score so effortlessly. They're battle tested. They just won the Pac-12. Arizona.
All right. What do you think, Jake?
Well, I'm conflicted with this because Arizona has let me down year after year after year. I think if Creighton gets through Baylor, I think if Creighton, I feel like a 6 seed that makes it to the Sweet 16 is already riding a hot hand. Creighton does have the size to compete. They have Kalbrenner, who's what, 7'1", 7 feet.
Yeah, 7 foot, I think.
Yeah, and so they have the size to compete against Arizona. I agree they're definitely not as deep. However, I mean, this is tough because I have such trust issues with the Wildcats. They've let me down countless times. Skip me and come back. What's your idea, Kev?
All right. I'm going to go Arizona.
Okay, so your opinion, I guess, is
My opinion is negated.
yeah. Your opinion does not matter, I guess.
I was thinking Creighton,
skeptical.
but I'm going to go Arizona.
I'm skeptical because I don't want to have too many 1s versus 2s in the Elite Eight, and I already have.
Well, I wouldn't have had a 1 versus 2.
Yeah, and so
we don't have.
I think
we're only in one region so far. So
but I'm
have that
thinking
many
about
ones.
my other picks, and so based on that, I don't know, I'm gonna have to. I have too many trust issues with Arizona. No matter how good they are, they still find a way to lose. I'm going Creighton.
Great players come from Arizona.
Well, we still have Arizona going through because of.
I know, but I wanted my opinion out there so everyone knows when I was right. If I'm right.
Okay.
It's on record. We'll see. And you also have your own bracket, so you could have
Oh
Arizona.
yeah. There's your. Yep. That's where
we don't know what you picked. I didn't.
Exactly.
But,
we can't tell.
This is another reason I picked Arizona. Arizona versus Bama. Who wins?
If this is the matchup, Bama. I think Bama's been battle tested against these really good teams. They haven't seen a team. There's no San Diego State really in the SEC, but there's some big teams in the SEC, and I think Alabama has enough size there and enough experience with Quinterly and enough depth that they can contest. I have Bama in its matchup.
I'm gonna have to agree with Austin.
Nope.
I think it's gonna be a close matchup. But if Bama ends up getting to the defense of the Aztecs, then I think nothing's gonna stop them against Arizona. I mean, so yeah.
Yes, that's a tremendous point, Jake. If they get through San Diego State, I mean, Bama has 3 players 6'9" or taller that play 20 minutes plus, and they have 2 players over 6'10" or 6'10" or taller that play 20 minutes plus. So
Bediako is 7 feet tall.
Yeah, they have enough size there to contest with this Arizona team, and I think if Brandon Miller again breaks through against San Diego State, who's obviously probably going to be double teamed there against one of the best defensive teams in the country, Zona does not have the answer.
Mm-hmm. All right. Austin, I'm curious. If San Diego State beats Bama, who wins, San Diego State or Arizona?
I may have San Diego State.
All right. I was going to say Arizona, but I'm out vetoed here.
So but I would like to clarify. I definitely see. I can picture it in my mind. Brandon Miller walking off the court with his head down on at the 3-minute mark in the second half, while San Diego State gets hype over just like a block or something. I don't know. I can see that picture in my head, and so I'm scared about Alabama against the Aztecs.
So we finished one region 30 minutes in.
We're taking our time. It matters.
We love it.
It's perfect bracket. It's the perfect bracket. We got to get it. So
all right. And by a perfect bracket, we have the number 1 seed making it to the Final Four. So now, I asked Jake, Austin. So now, Austin, to you, what's the next region?
Oh, he wants to go to the right here to Houston. Let's go to it. I'm totally fine with that.
All right, Houston. Does it matter who they play?
It does not.
Northern Kentucky. They're guaranteed to play Northern Kentucky. They don't have a matchup against.
Well, yes.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
I will say, not that it matters because there's almost a 0% chance it won't happen. This is a 16 seed that has the best chance because of Sasser's injury. Purdue, I do think, is worse than Houston. Zach Edey, there is no 16 seed that can match Zach Edey, so I would say this is the best chance for a 16 seed, but it Houston by 45.
Oh, dang. That's more points.
Houston
than the
beat
Texans
Oral
scored.
Roberts by 45. They're about to beat the 16 seed by 45. Don't worry.
All right.
Yeah, I agree. Houston is going to completely demolish Northern Kentucky. Houston, even without Sasser, they're a great ball.
They made the final. They made the Elite Eight last year without Sasser. If Sasser's healthy, they actually beat him by 60. Without Sasser, they beat him by 45.
All right. I have Houston winning as well. So now we go to Iowa versus Auburn.
Oh
This
man,
was a tough one.
This is such a coin flip. The team that can't play defense versus the team that is so bad right now in Auburn. Auburn's 3-7 in their last 10 games, and Auburn shoots 31% from 3. Oh man,
It's gross. It's gross.
and I don't trust Iowa. Iowa's not a team that normally does well for me when I pick them in the tournament.
No.
Have Zona. I pick Iowa almost every year, and every year they flounder. But I have to go Iowa. Auburn's 3-7 in their last 10 games. They are not. They're ice cold, and I think that offensive Iowa would just run away with it. Chris Murray's about as good as his twin brother, and I think that'll carry them through at least this round.
I don't think Auburn is a highly rated defense. Whether they shoot the ball or not, they do find ways to score in moments. They were able to beat Bama, right? They beat Bama, didn't they?
I think so, but that was a long time ago. But yes,
they beat Bama. The issue is whenever they're not at their home court, they're kind of bad. I just don't like Iowa and how bad they're. I mean, they don't really. Is Iowa even that good of an offense?
yes.
They are a good offense. Yeah, they are.
They have one of the best offenses in the country. Yeah, they can throw the ball.
Kevin, what do you think?
To put into perspective, the Auburn in their last 10 games has played 5 home, 5 road. In their road games, they're 0-5.
Yeah.
Wow. I think I'm probably going to go Iowa.
Okay. Well,
I think I'm going Iowa as well.
okay, so we three-peated that one. I love to see it.
All right. 3-peat. Now we go to Miami versus Drake.
Oh, this one's impossible.
This is the most impossible one. Okay. If Omie plays, then it's Miami in a heartbeat for me. But because they're missing their premier rebounder, and Drake's
tall.
Drake is tall, and they can shoot. He's like their main guy, Tucker DeVries.
DeVries, I think.
DeVries.
He
shoots like 40% from 3.
Oh, he shoots 39% on 7 attempts.
Yeah, they don't turn the ball over either.
I'm going Drake.
I'm going Drake as well.
All right. Drake as well for me. Now we go to Indiana versus Kent State.
This one's also impossible. Kent State has some very I like every 12 and 13 seed. And Kent State, that impressive win versus Toledo, who's another good team. Their conference tournament, they beat them by 15.
Twice. They beat them twice.
Yeah, I know, but they beat them by 15 to win their conference tournament.
Yes.
And the difference for me is the fact that Indiana shoots 37% from 3, which is very good. The problem with Indiana is they're 204th in free throw percentage.
That's going to hurt them.
It will. It will. And Carey could carry them. Kent State a guy named Carey that could carry them.
Yeah, sincere
Carey. Yeah, he could sincerely carry them. It's going to be tough. I'm going to go Indiana because I think Trace Jackson Davis is going to have one of the best games of his career. But if he doesn't, I would not be surprised by Kent State.
Here's the thing about Kent State. They have proven themselves worthy of high opponents multiple times this year. They played Houston. I think they lost by only 5, I think was the number. They played Gonzaga. I think they lost by only 3.
7.
7. Either way, that's still
They
pretty
lost
good.
by 2 to Charleston. They lost by 5 to Houston. They lost by 7 to Gonzaga.
My only issue with Kent State is they're not very deep. They don't shoot well from 3.
That's
but they-
that's the difference for me is the shooting. It's
They
the shoot.
do play good defense, and they play intense defense. And I think if they are in the face of Indiana all game and they are aggressive, then they will pull this out. And I'm not a big believer in Indiana at all this year because their offense is pretty much just Trace Jackson Davis. They have a couple other guys in double figures, but not worthy, not like guys who are going to carry them to another round. No offense to Indiana, but I
This is
think
another one. I'm close. This is just like the Furman one for me. So Kevin,
Yes, it is a
I'm fine with either choice.
All right.
It's a toss up. I might go Kent State here.
Okay.
And I'm going to go Indiana.
All right.
So Jake just likes me, I guess. I mean, Kevin just likes me. He just likes my picks. It's.
I don't know. I feel we're kind of even. Or not yet. Or not really.
No, the only one you chose was Mizzou, and I think there's a little bit of bias there. But if we're
No,
talking about
I thought-
non-biased
I
picks,
also sided with Bama with Jake.
oh, I guess so. But in that
Or,
4-13
no, it was
matchup,
Arizona.
in that 4-13 matchup specifically, Jake has gone the 13, and I've gone the 4, and
Yeah.
you've tended to agree with me. But again, both 13 seeds. It's really a shame. Like I think Furman and Kent State are both way better than NC State. That's why I have a problem with kind of how I think they just should kind of switch up how they do the rankings because having teams that are just worse above another team is kind of a problem. But Kent State and Furman could both win their games. I will say this stat.
Wait. Hold on. I did have Indiana beating Kent State
You did?
in my main bracket. I did. So I'm going to trust that gut instinct, and I'm going to stick with Indiana.
All right.
Okay. Well, I mean, it didn't matter, but it
Yeah,
just
it didn't matter.
we trusted your gut for you.
Yeah, thank
We
you.
were the guy.
Thank you so much.
I will say this stat that in 14 of the last 15 brackets or years, a 1 through 4 seed has lost in the first round. So a 13 seed, a 14 seed, a 15 seed, or a 16 seed has one of those 4 seeds has won a game in 14 of the last 15 tournaments. So I do think that is something we need to consider. Now, technically, it could be the 1 year, just like there is 14 of the 15. So 1 year, a 1 through 4 seed did not lose in the first round. But that is something we need to consider because we do not have one yet, and we passed up a lot of opportunities. But I do have one or a couple actually that I will predict. But that is something that we need to take into consideration. But let's move on to Iowa State.
Yes. Iowa State versus Mississippi State or Pitt.
It will be Mississippi State.
All right.
Would,
I
do
like
you
Iowa
agree?
State.
Do you think that it'd be Mississippi State over
No.
Pitt? Over Pitt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then I agree. Iowa State.
Mhm.
Iowa
All
State's battle tested. They're a good team, and they have experience
I like
from
that.
last year making it to the Sweet 16. They're a good team. They're good.
All right.
They should not be a 6 seed as well. They have like 100 quad 1 wins, but that's just me.
All right. So we'll move on to the next one. Xavier versus Kennesaw State.
Look, Kennesaw
Kennesaw
State's
State.
not a bad team. They're not. But Xavier's proved themselves to me. I understand they got beat by Marquette, but they've won 5 of their last 6 against some good opponents like Creighton and Providence. I think Xavier wins this game. I know it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be a close one. But I don't think Kennesaw State has the firepower.
Yeah. The thing about it is, Xavier lost to Marquette, but that's not really a knock on them, is it?
No, Marquette is
Marquette's
insane.
a pretty good team,
Yeah.
and so I'm gonna have to say, yeah, Xavier wins. No matter Kennesaw State, that's like kind of a hometown school for me. They were like 20 minutes away from where I grew up. A lot of people I know go to Kennesaw State, but sorry, boys, that Kennesaw State is not going to be Xavier after what they were showing at their conference tournament.
Yeah, I agree. Xavier as well. And now we get to a team where I don't understand how they're a 7 seed, and that's Texas A&M.
Yeah, they were kind of being very mean to SEC teams. The SEC teams at 7, especially at Mizzou and A&M.
Yeah, and
Well, they weren't really mean to Tennessee though. That was kind of got me a little salty.
Yeah, especially after losing Ziegler. But
losing Ziegler and losing to Mizzou twice. I'm just saying.
Don't worry, we'll get to that matchup.
Yes, but now they have to face a tough Penn State team.
Penn State is tough only because they hit their threes. That's it. Other than that,
the problem is Texas A&M is 262nd in 3-point percentage, while Penn State's 11. Huh?
Is this on Pomeroy?
This is using the matchup analysts on CBS.
Okay.
Sports. So it says 262nd, 32.7% to be exact for A&M, while Penn State shoots 38.7%, which is 11th. So I think this would be a really tough matchup, but Texas A&M's proved everything they need for me. I think A&M's a better team, and I think they're going to pull it out. I do think it's going to be close. Penn State's a really good team, but with Pickett and all, but I don't think they have enough to beat A&M.
I agree. A&M is strong. Based on the Pomeroy rankings, I'm looking at them now. A&M is 30th in offensive efficiency, while Penn State is 17th. But Penn State is 101th in adjusted defensive efficiency, and A&M is 37th. And I don't usually like looking at these stats and being like, oh, that means they're going to win. But it is a good guideline, and Penn State hasn't proven themselves defensively, and they went on a little Cinderella run. So that's a little concerning how they played in the Big Ten championship,
they lost that game by 2. But I think it will take a toll on them playing.
I agree.
So yeah,
and I think A&M is going to be hungry after this loss. They don't take losses very well.
A&M just seems like a gritty team.
Yeah.
They also, I think A&M wants to prove themselves from being snubbed from last year's, so they have a lot to prove.
All right, so. Now we go Texas and Colgate.
This isn't Colgate from last year. Texas by 20.
Texas, aka the hottest team in college basketball, is in this game.
The hottest team in college basketball?
They just beat Kansas by 15-20 in the Big 12 championship. It was no contest from the beginning. Texas might be back, guys.
I don't know if they're the hottest team in college basketball, though. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They did have a bad loss to Texas Tech in their last 10 games. The hottest team in college basketball is Marquette, and they're 9-0. Marquette's 9-0 in their last 10, and the Big East is better than the ACC.
Wait, 9-0 in their last 10.
9-0 in their last 9. 9-1 in their last 10, but 9-0 in their last 9.
Okay, I thought you said 9-0.
No. 9-0. But Texas, they've won their last 4 games. But they lost to TCU, they lost to Texas Tech, they lost to Baylor. TCU, Baylor, fine losses, but Tech, that's not a good loss.
So they lose to Texas teams, and they're facing a Texas team in Texas A&M.
Oh yeah, in the next round we will get to that. If Timmy Allen plays in this game, Texas.
I got Texas.
All right. I was going to pick Texas A&M, but I'm a biased fan. I just don't like Texas.
At least you admit it this time.
I have no connection to the University of Missouri.
That's true.
All right. Let's go Xavier versus Iowa State.
Who wants it first? I can go first.
Iowa State's defense is insane.
I don't like the way they played the regular season, but I still am going to have to go with Iowa State.
Wow.
Here's the problem. They shoot 67% from the line. if this is a close game at the end and Iowa State is forced to shoot free throws, they are almost last in college basketball in free throw percentage. I'm going Xavier.
Sorry, Jake. I'm gonna side with Austin once again.
I don't know. Iowa State just seems to prove themselves every year.
But here's the thing. Iowa State plays very slow pace, and they play great defense. But I think Xavier has enough offense to keep close. Just to keep close. And at the end of the game, this is what's going to happen. Iowa State's going to be up by 5 in the last 2 minutes. And then they're going to foul them. And Iowa State's going to miss all their free throws. And it's not going to matter.
Although according to ESPN, it says that Xavier does not match up well against scoring point guards who can knock down jumpers. And that's Iowa State's bread and butter. They have
But you got to think Xavier with the 3rd best 3-point percentage in college basketball, the 6th best field goal percentage, playing against a team that can't shoot free throws. Yes, you can play defense for so long, but it's not like Iowa State scores the ball enough to stay ahead of Xavier enough to where free throws aren't going to matter. I'm telling you, one team's going to be in the bonus, and when Iowa State's in the bonus, they're missing the first one, and they're not even going to get the chance to shoot the second one.
No, Xavier's a great scoring team, and it's going to be a close matchup for me.
Yeah,
I appreciate Kevin. I appreciate Kevin.
I'm a believer in Xavier.
Whenever I see that 2-3 matchup, I get concerned because it's almost never that way.
All right. Yeah, we'll have to see. Yeah, that's true. Well, it wouldn't have been if y'all picked Texas A&M, but now we go.
That's highly possible.
But now we go a 12 versus a 4 seed. Who wants it?
Give me Drake, man.
Give me Drake.
Stays alive.
All right, let's go.
Trace Jackson Davis isn't good enough to carry them past Drake.
Nope.
They're not.
Drake
Let's go.
Drake is great.
All right, now Houston versus Iowa.
Who we kidding? Even with
Houston by 25 with Sasser, by 15 without him.
Yeah.
25 the defense is too good. Iowa cannot defend, and Houston can score and defend. So at some point, unless Chris Murray is hitting every shot, they're losing this game by double digits.
Yeah.
And even if Murray is hitting every shot, they still lose this game by 8. So.
All right, now we have Houston versus, or what? Were you going to add something, Jake?
No, I was saying, yep.
Okay. Does Drake keep dancing?
No.
No. I'm sorry, Drake.
All right, Houston.
Sorry, Drake fans.
Sasser, this is second weekend. We got to remember, first weekend's the first 2 games. Sasser will be healthy by the Sweet 16.
Sasser will be healthy by the Sweet 16.
Okay, he may miss the first 2 games. That's totally believable. He will not miss this game, and they will beat Drake by double digits. Drake's really good, but that just shows how good Houston is, not how bad Drake is.
Yeah.
All right. Now, Xavier versus Texas. Does the hottest team, or wait, quote unquote, hottest team, stay
Yes.
hot?
Yes.
Dang, man.
Texas wins.
Texas wins this game.
I don't want Texas going to Elite 8.
They will. Don't worry.
Thanks, Austin. Now we have, okay, so not that risky in the 2 first regions we've picked, 1 and 2 seeds.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, I'm going 1 seed again. Sasser's healthy.
Ooh.
Houston's played some good competition. I understand they don't have the best conference in the world, but I'm telling you right now, Houston is on a mission. And they will not be stopped from at least going to their hometown to play some college basketball again.
All right,
I am rooting for Houston.
Hear me out.
I already know Kevin's pick. He doesn't like Texas. We can just move on.
All right, we can move on. Houston wins, but I would like to say. True. I would like to say. I envision Texas winning a half-court buzzer beater shot, scores like 58 to 56 or something. Like, that's this matchup. It's going to be a defensive powerhouse of a matchup, and it's going to be very interesting. I think it's going to be tight knit. It's going to end on a buzzer beater no matter what. I think it's –
Here's what's going to happen. You're right about the 58-56, but there's not going to be a game-winning shot. And how did they get 58? They're down by 1, 56-55. Marcus Sasser drives to the hoop and 1 layup, makes the free throw. Texas can't make another shot. Houston by 2.
Either way, it's going to be a close game.
And it's going to be an amazing game. It's going to be amazing.
It's not close.
I
hope Texas. All right. You also want to know a connection to Houston, Austin? This isn't a correlation. This is a connection. So, which announcer is very famous for calling March Madness games?
Is it Harlan or who's it?
Well, he also does football and golf.
Oh, well, you just tell me. I'm trying to think. Is it
Jim Nance.
Oh, that's right.
And I believe it is Jim Nance Final Dance.
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Not
All
the
right.
voice of the.
I believe I heard it. So, can one of you name the college of Jim Nance?
I'm assuming you're saying this because you went to Houston because you said a connection to Houston.
Yes. He did go to Houston. So,
I'd be very
100
interesting if the
Houston.
first one he called is when Houston lost to NC State or something like that in the final. That'd be interesting, but that would
I
actually be a
think-
correlation. But
yeah. I think there was in his book he did talk about Houston making a run one time, but I think he'd already been calling it. So now,
you like to go to the left? You want us to go to Purdue, Jake?
Yeah, sounds good.
and
Okay.
to be determined.
I'm excited
because
about this.
This is part 1.